Morning, friends. So, quickly, because that seems like what it is lately. Acts 23, which is pretty good. So, we got Paul got brought before the council because that's where we left off. He was getting brought before the council again in Jerusalem, the Sanhedrin. So he addressed them, and he says, I've lived in all good conscience before God until this day. And the high priest, Ananias, who was ironically killed by his own people in AD 66, said nothing, actually. He commanded that they stood by him. Okay, so they're all ready to attack. And they stood by to smite him on the mouth. They were going to smack him. Then Paul said to them, well, God shall smack you, you whitewashed tomb. In those days, that was an insult because you look good on the outside, but your insides was nasty and stinky and rotten. You were just not a good person at all. You sit and judge me after the law commands me to be smacked contrary to the law. So we go to the Amplified. And that basically means, do you actually sit to judge me according to the law, and yet in violation of the law order me to be struck? And the people standing nearby said, are you insulting the high priest of God? And he's like, I didn't know he was a high priest, because Rome rotated the high priest. Technically, they were supposed to be high priests for life, but Rome rotated these high priests. And so Paul's like, I didn't know it was the high priest, because the law says you shall not speak evil of a ruler of your people. So he noticed that one of these groups were Sadducees and one were Pharisees. And so he began affirming loudly to the council, the Sanhedrin, kinsmen, I am a Pharisee, a son of Pharisees. I am on trial for the hope in the resurrection of the dead. And well, this got the Pharisee side going. And then the Sadducees too, because this made them get into it with each other, because Sadducees say there's no such thing as the resurrection, no such thing as angels. And the Pharisees speak out freely and acknowledge their belief in spirits and angels. So this got them arguing with each other. And then the Pharisees started arguing for Paul, saying, hey, an angel could have really spoke to this man. You don't know. And so their dissension became greater, and the Roman commander feared that Paul would be torn to pieces, literally. So he ordered the troops to go down and take him away. So on the following night, the Lord appeared and said, be brave. Be brave. You have solemnly and faithfully testified for me. You've witnessed to people in Rome about me faithfully. So now you're going to have to do this in Rome. So the next day came, and the Jews formed a conspiracy against Paul. They bound themselves with an oath/curse. They would not eat or drink until they killed him. So they were waiting they wanted to get them to bring him down back to where they were so they could be ready. But Paul's nephews, his sister's son, heard about the plan. So he went over to the barracks and he told one of the centurions, hey, I need to go talk to the commander. So they brought him over there to the commander, and they brought him aside, quite in a private place. And he said, what is it you have to tell me? And he said, the Jews have agreed to bring Paul down to the Sanhedrin tomorrow, and then they're going to have him interrogated more thoroughly. But don't listen to them, because there's more than 40 of them lying in wait to kill him. They took an oath not to eat or drink until they'd killed him. So the commander let him go, and he instructed him, don't tell anybody what you've told me. Because he had a plan. The Lord worked through him with this plan to move Paul to Caesarea. So he told two of the centurions to have 200 soldiers, sorry. Well, they would probably need horses. By 9 o'clock tonight, have 200 men ready. Go as far as Caesarea with 70 horsemen and 200 spearmen. That was a lot of guards. And provide horses for Paul to ride and bring him safely to Felix the governor. So he gave and centurions their instructions, and he wrote a letter to Claudius Lysias, the most excellent governor, Felix. They had to call them all these nice names out of respect for their positions. And he said, "Greetings, this man was seized as a prisoner by the Jews and was about to be killed by them when I came upon him with troops and rescued him, having learned he was a Roman citizen. And wanting to know the exact charge they were having against him, I brought him to their council, the Sanhedrin, and discovered he's just being accused in regard to a question of their law, and that wouldn't call for any penalty of death or even imprisonment. Then I was told there was a plot against him to kill him, so I sent him to you immediately, also directing his accusers to bring their charges against him before you." So let me get this out of my place. Y'all got to worry about this now. So the soldiers followed the orders, took Paul, brought him to Antipatris, or however you say it, the next day, leaving during the night. And then the next day, they went on and returned to the barracks. So when the other horsemen, they reached Caesarea with Paul, and they delivered the letter to the governor and presented Paul to him. Okay, here's this guy, here's the letter, this is what's going on. So after reading this letter, he asked which province Paul was from. And he learned he was from, there's that word again, Cilicia, an imperial province of Rome. So he said, "Well, I will hear your case when your accusers get here." So he gave orders for Paul to be kept under guard in Herod's praetorium, which is the governor's official residence. So he was kind of like under house arrest until his accusers came over from Jerusalem to bring their case before him. So that concludes chapter 23. Y'all have a great day.